Well, I want to thank you all for joining us. I'm Mark Schumacher, Executive Vice President of the Home Furnishings Association, and this is our webinar today, where we're really going to be focusing on what this new customer journey, this customer experience looks like as more stores open in this post-COVID, as it's being called, world. And we have a guest today with us, somebody who is no stranger to really, I think, anybody in our industry, but Keith Koenig. He's not only an HFA member, he's the president and founder of City Furniture down in Florida, and he's joining us here for this conversation, which we're looking forward to. But before we start, let me just mention a couple of things. This webinar is being recorded. It will be available when we are finished. We'll be sending those links out. So if you know people that will want to see it, please let them know. Also, of course, our page where that can be found and every sort of resource is myhfa.org/COVID-19. That's a constantly updated resource page. And we'll be talking more about some handouts we have available. But Keith, first of all, thank you for joining us. Where are you joining us from today?
Well, thanks, Mark. I'm joining you from the Pilot's Lounge at Leesburg International Airport outside of the Friendly Villages. Have you ever heard of the Villages?
I have. Wow, I didn't realize that's where you were.
The Villages is Walt Disney World for adults, senior adults. It's a over 55 community, and we got a couple stores there. We do a lot of business, and we're just running around visiting our stores and model homes. We do model homes for these folks. It's kind of interesting because in today's world, we have to all figure out how to do business in new ways. And I'm up here trying to drum up more business with model homes and furnished packages in homes, et cetera. But as it is, before we fly home, I'm in the Pilot's Lounge with a couple of nice, probably Ashley recliners here, and I'm delighted to be with you. Thanks for the opportunity to spend some time with you.
Well, we appreciate it, and this is a subject that has drawn a ton of attention, and we've got a ton of questions that we'll go through. But I want to point something out for everybody who's just tuned into the webinar. If you were to go to the City Furniture webpage right now, I don't want you to do it right this second. You can go when this is all over with. But what you're going to notice is a very forward-facing, aggressive way of doing business in this particular environment. They make it very clear there are 4 ways to shop: appointments, shop by phone, live chat, shop online. They talk about free designer services, special financing, even the Memorial Day sale. I mean, it's clearly trying to meet the customer wherever they might be. And Keith, before we get into the questions, I want to talk about that for a second. Clearly, there's a recognition on your part and the teams of what you're dealing with here. So give us a little bit behind the curtain there as far as those decisions and the types of things that you are doing to try to adapt.
Sure, Mark. Well, let me try to frame things.
Sure.
This is our business started in 1971. I started working with my brother in 1972, so I have to look back at 48 years of experience and say, what have I learned along the way? Well, I try to put things into some longer term perspectives or some bigger perspectives. And rather than just deal with day-to-day stuff, I try to what's going on here? And I think there's 4 big takeaways that I think we all need to be paying attention to.
Okay.
In the past, our business most of our retail business was dependent upon the door swinging. Somebody coming in the front door. And the other avenue that has grown dramatically over the last number of years is our online e-commerce business. And pretty much everybody sees that the same way. I have to say, in the past, our online e-commerce team and our sales team probably weren't as aligned as we are now, and we will be going forward. So the pre-COVID-19 universe was online and door swings. Now we're going to face some 4 big changes. Well, one, everybody's starting their journey on a digital way. Almost every customer is going to start their journey digitally. 2, sales associates are going to our sales team has got to embrace that. And we've got to learn how to change from this door swing as being an opportunity to a web session being an opportunity to get a chat, and a chat being an opportunity to get a telephone conversation, and a telephone conversation being an opportunity to get a in-person appointment. And we can do business at every step of the way, but we are learning how to track all of that. So big takeaway is the digital and IT platforms necessary to do business in the new period. And the second thing is the handoff between the digital leads and our sales organization. And some of the best sales organizations in the country are reinventing their business around this. The third big opportunity that we have all in front of us, let's face it, market share for home furnishings has been going down as a share of personal expenditures. If you look at how much people spent on furniture 20 years ago out of their available dollar, it's down substantially, and it has been down essentially every year since then. That's going to turn around, in my opinion. Home is more important than ever. We're certainly seeing restaurant sales being way down. We're certainly seeing travel being way down. Cruises, forget it. And home is going to be more of a priority. So I think this is the home furnishings golden era. Opportunity of a lifetime if we play our cards right. But I think the fourth big message I would share is that there's going to be winners and losers. Clearly, Wayfair is growing dramatically. They might have been on the ropes in February. Well, right now, their stock value has gone up 600% in the last few weeks. Their market capitalization is north of $15 million. And their share of consumer expenditure and home furnishings has gone way up. They and other online players potentially will continue to grow their share. Potentially not. Not everybody sees Wayfair's path of profitability the way they try to espouse it. But I think we have to understand there will be winners and losers. And I can tell you, if I'm a home furnishings retailer, if I don't have a decent digital platform and I can't track my leads and I can't turn those into private appointments, and if I can't robustly change my sales culture to be able to deal with that, I think it's going to be tougher.
Well, and it's interesting when you say that, because the in-store experience has changed and is changing so dramatically, with limited numbers of people coming in, even limited time in the store. So what I'm hearing you say is that if you're not making sure that those moments in the store are maximized, the term foot traffic is maybe a thing of the past in many respects. Is that fair?
Yeah. Let me tell you a little story I learned from our ad agency, Zimmerman Advertising, big retail advertising, 13 billion, huge amount, and good people happen to be based in our hometown of Fort Lauderdale. Jordan Zimmerman told me, he said, he was very big in the automotive business. They do AutoNation and several other major auto companies, Nissan, countless companies. He said 12, 15 years ago, before the internet, they used to have to drive 5 trips. In other words, 5 buying groups to a dealership to sell 1 car. They now drive 1.4 trips for every car. In other words, traffic of 5 is down to 1.4 for the same number of cars to sell. So the customer coming in the front door is so much further along in their journey that they're coming to really touch and feel and see, and to be confirmed that they're making a good decision and work out any issues that they might face. So the traffic is going to go down. I mean, maybe we're lucky, and for a time, traffic's going to go up, but the number of, the richness of the opportunities is much higher. So our sales team has got to understand that. We've got to track closing. We've got to make sure that we're taking advantage of so we are rearranging our sales in the last year and a half. We've rearranged our sales organization, our sales culture, to be able to get the managers of the showroom, whoever's running the floor, always have a manager running the floor in terms of, that's not rocket science, of course, but make sure that they're engaged with every client, every guest, every shopper, so that if there is an issue that needs to be worked out, that they are skilled at being able to help close the sale or sell the services or upgrade or reinforce a decision, etc.
But more and more people that are coming in are ready to buy. I mean, the close rates are going to be up, even though the traffic may be down. Is your point, because of all the pre-work that's being done?
Exactly. Close rates are absurdly high compared to what historic is. But the leads coming from the web sessions, and web chat turned into telephone calls, are also enormously important. We can't just rely on somebody coming in to do business. We have to be able to do business with them on their terms.
I want to remind people that this is our special guest, Keith Koenig, joining us today on this webinar. And by the way, if you have questions for Keith, there is a section on the right side of the screen there that you can submit the questions. Please do, and we will be getting to as many as possible. I wanted to ask you, the one thing that stands out to me, and we've been, the consumers of a lot of web presence. The shop by phone, there's always so much about, I mean, chat clearly is coming on like crazy. What is it you like particularly about the phone? Is it, that's to some people it's a little bit old school, but is that just really that ability to bridge that gap as you talk about from digital to the store? How important do you think that piece of it is? Because there's a lot of people out there that you don't have to invest in a lot of tech to do good on the phone.
Yeah, and that's a really good question. And I think all of the folks that I'm networking with are finding the same thing that we are. And that is that the quality of opportunity of a phone call today. We're taking our website and we're asking them if they want to talk to somebody on the phone, a live person. Do they want to go to customer care, where if there's a service related issue, maybe a repair or an exchange or something, or do they want to talk to a sales associate who can answer questions about product, the service, that financing, etc. The customers that are on the web that choose to call in on the sales line, that opportunity is almost as rich as our historic traffic walking into the showroom.
Really?
In other words, our metrics on those calls, we're starting to track carefully by showroom, by sales associate, and the quality of that is almost as good. In other words, somebody's home right now looking at your website and they see a telephone, they want to talk to somebody live about a product. And that product they have questions about. If they get the right person on that phone call, that person can walk them through their issues all the way through closing, earn a commission, and the customer can consummate the sale online. But they might not do it, or they will not do it, without that reassurance and that feedback from that sales associate. So the telephone call is very important.
Well, and that's something I think that resonates to everybody listening, because it doesn't matter if you're a small one-store owner or you've got many. That's kind of universal. Now, who are you having handle those calls? Are those your typical sales associates that are handling that, or do you have somebody specifically trained? How do you manage that to give people some insights?
We are routing that into a specific queue of sales associates skilled now on handling telephone calls. And we're keeping track of their metrics and their commissions, etc. So this is relatively new for us. My friend Irv Blumpkin from Nebraska Furniture Market shared that he's had a telephone sales team forever and they've done particularly well. By the way, it's a good next step in a career path for somebody who maybe is getting older but wants to work. And maybe they don't want to work 40, 45 hours a week or more. Maybe they want to work 30. Maybe they can't move around a big showroom as much as in the past, but they have strong sales skills.
Wow. And
he's the one that opened our eyes to that. So we're grateful for Herb's feedback there and we're going after it. But it's got to be a skilled sales associate. I hate to say, in the past, we used to have that go through customer care. Or the sales associate didn't answer the phone, or maybe we didn't answer the phone as quickly. We're building in processes so that the phone gets answered quickly, and if it doesn't get answered quickly in the particular showroom, it goes to a sales queue that gets answered very quickly by a skilled sales professional in a queue.
And to me, the thing that you just said that I'm sure got the attention of a lot of people listening to this is what a great way to engage an element of the workforce that you may have lost in the past just because of the rigorous hours and things of that sort. Now you're basically saying, hey, if you got that skill set, I just need you on the other end of a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's powerful.
Opportunity. It's really a neat opportunity to keep some of our best folks. And you know what? You schedule where the hours are and the traffic. The data is getting pretty available, and we can schedule accordingly as long as we have the right staffing model. And that can all be done from home. I mean, we like to bring people in for work to be able to connect, but a lot can be done from home, and that's another changing environment that we're all seeing. A lot more work can be done on a distributed basis than before.
And you also made an important point there that I want to make sure that people didn't miss, is you also said that those online sales associates, that there is a commission aspect of it, and that's important to be able to provide that as well. We have a ton.
Same commission program. Same commission program.
We have a ton of what
Eric shared that he's got people that can do real well.
We have a ton of questions here, and I think this is a real good one. Again, I mentioned what a great website you guys have, and I highly recommend people look at it as a best in class kind of a location. But how do you drive people right now to the website? I mean, if you can't get them there, then they can't see this beautiful palette of options you have. So what are you guys doing to drive people to the web page?
Well, there's a myriad of ways to do that. And there's everything from just your regular advertising. So cityfurniture.com is part of all of our regular advertising on TV, digital roles, etc., and video. But there's also the search engine optimization. So how we embed content and how we run our website helps us optimize people who are be searching for our category coming to us. Okay. Still, most of it's coming direct to cityfurniture.com, but there's search engine marketing too, where we can go on different ways to be able to buy. And it's very analytical. It's auction based. If you want to buy furniture stores near me in certain geographic areas, you have to bid to get on the top of the page, and you have to determine whether the cost per click, somebody clicking through to our website, is a good return or not. And the nice thing about that is Google Analytics is so transparent. It allows us to work to get better. But there's so many innovations going on and so much development there. We have, many years ago, we started building a strong digital team that I am extremely proud of. We have a gal named Annalena, and the guy that used to run it before her was Andy, and he's now running all revenue. Annalena and Justin run our digital platform, and they have a team. And we're a reasonable sized business, but we keep building and adding to that team because the returns of their growth in the digital format and the direction that's going, we have to get better and better. But there's also, so that's how do we drive content? How do we drive clicks to our website? That's the way. You want to buy mattresses. If you want to buy a mattress, somebody's searching for a mattress, it's super expensive because Casper and everybody and their brother who's selling direct to the consumer is paying extremely high prices for that. It goes and it varies according to the different search words, which I think most of the folks that are probably joining in on this webinar would easily know. But those are the ways we're typically driving, like pretty much everybody else.
Well, it sounds to me, and I don't want to, just make conclusions here, but it sounds to me if the obvious question is where where would you suggest any retailer spend their money as far as, you know, advertising and things of that sort? It sounds like anymore with this new environment that we're sort of unpeeling today, it sounds like that SEO and your searchability has got to be climbing that ladder pretty rapidly on the level of importance.
I do think that the world is moving more and more digital. I think if we don't embrace the new digital realities, and if we don't learn how to optimize the returns from them, this is not inherently what 60-year-old gray-haired guys are good at. So I've had to count on my son and son-in-law and my young management team to help develop, and I've got to have the courage to give them the resources, and it's a lot. But the nice thing is every furniture store in the country probably already has a website, but it's affordable at different levels for everybody. But I would say the returns there are very important. If you told me what part of our marketing budget, and I consider all of our website to be part of our marketing, that's really the front door to the store. It's not the glass door at the front entrance. The front door to the store is our City Furniture website and our ashleyfurniture.com website, because that's where customers start their journey.
Want to remind people we're having a conversation today with Keith Koenig of City Furniture down in Florida, and this is a webinar that is being recorded, so it'll be available on myhfa.org/COVID-19 when we are done here. So you can certainly mention that if you want to send us some questions, and many of them are coming through. Please do. We're going to do our best to get to as many of these. Yeah, Keith, I want to just ask you, you know, you've got, like every retailer, you know, everybody's always, you know, you're proud of the store. You know, people walk in the door, and it's an indication of who you are, the culture, everything. Is this becoming de-emphasized, or how does the brick and mortar portion of the business, no matter if you're a single store operator or whatever, how does that balance with all of this attention to the online? And you know, it seems to me like, you know, you don't want to devalue that, but in the same way, you know, this is really tilting the scales in an interesting fashion.
Yeah, there's no question our stores are going to generate far more business than the website for a long time to come, I believe. I don't see the website being bigger than the rest of the store business. I see the website is the place where people start their journey. But let's just say that they're making the people who are coming in the front door that much more qualified and ready to buy. So what do we have to do? We have to make sure the website and our store and the message and the branding are aligned. We built a photo studio. Not every furniture company can do this, but everybody can do some of this. We built a big photo studio so that we can take pictures of our product and shoot them like a sofa or living room set with the right area rug, the wall decor, the lamps, the tabletop accessories, the coffee table and end tables, everything the way it's going to be in the showroom, the way we have it. And so there's alignment. And the other third leg of the stool for us that has not decreasing importance, is only increasing importance, is our catalog. And so we're de-emphasizing print in the newspapers, like everybody on the planet. But our catalog return on ad spend continues to go up. We have built bigger and bigger and nicer catalogs, and the content is the product with the way it will be in the showroom, so that the guest who's looking online or looking at the show and the catalog, and then they come into the showroom and they see it the same way. The bed linens, the area rug, whatever it is, there's alignment. So that sales associate then has got to be very skilled at being able to quickly handle the sale and close the sale. And especially now, they don't want to hang around forever. They want to get in and get out. So the quality of sales associates, but here's the cool thing that we're telling all our sales associates. You're going to be getting much more qualified traffic and you're going to be able to close a higher percentage of them. You should be able to, if we staff the traffic, the right amount of traffic, you should be able to make more money than you ever made before.
Yeah, you know, this is, I have to just make a comment. This is such a breath of fresh air because, you know, you carry with you a level of optimism, and a lot of people look at this crisis you know, it's difficult. This is a challenge for everybody, but you know, you're seeing amazing opportunities here, and the focus on home, which we'll talk about again in a little bit. And I love what you just said, having that alignment, because that's something that anybody can achieve. But if you're giving somebody that impression online and they can't see it when they come in, that's a credibility issue for y'all, isn't it? I mean, that's building the credibility of City Furniture or whatever the furniture company is, to say, we're going to give you what it is you're looking for. And it seems to me that's very purposeful from your standpoint.
Yeah, it really is. It's having that. I'll tell a little story. I was lucky in life to have two beautiful women as wives. My second wife, Kelly, and I got married 2 years ago, May 4th. And early May, late April, all the stores are closed. Buy her something. You know, what does every woman want? Well, you know, of course, jewelry. And I buy all my jewelry from my buddy. And so I go onto his website. Store's closed. Get onto his website. And it's okay. And he's a great guy. He's got a pretty busy one store operation. But I couldn't get around easily, and I didn't see anything that was inspiring, and there was a lot of jewelry there, but I had to weed through a lot of things that I wasn't interested in, because the user friendliness wasn't quite there. I love him to death, but I would have spent some money, but I didn't see anything I liked. And I bet he has something I liked. If the site was tuned in to ask the right questions, or at least sort in the right ways. I don't know, price, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I
Sure.
don't know what it is. My message, it struck me, was we're going to get those opportunities. Every one of our furniture companies that across the country is going to get those opportunities. They're going to come to us first on the web, and we've got to maximize the chance to be able to connect with them. The car dealers, my buddies who are car dealers, have been telling me this forever. Car dealers don't wait for the door to swing. They are all over people. If you're a Honda dealer, you are trying to get everybody who goes to honda.com and connect with them. And there are ways to do it. And if they can, they want a very friendly and convenient way to get they're not trying to close the sale, they're just trying to help you on your journey. Mm-hmm. They want to get your telephone number, preferably, or your email. And then they track that every step of the way. An email or a telephone number translating into a telephone call, translating into an appointment, translating into a sale. And there are whole business development in every car dealer in the country that's worth its salt. Every one of them has a business development office. It's totally tuned into taking that web traffic and turning it into business. Moving it closer to the consummation of a sale, and that's what we've got to do.
Well, and I think the read between the lines on what you just said too is look beyond the industry. What are the things that you as a customer connect with on other people's websites? If it works for you as a customer, it might just work for those that you're trying to bring in your store. Couple of great questions have come in here that I want to ask. Have you looked at, or are you involved in much with either AI or VR with the website? And that's one of those things that a number of people that have sites are asking, as far as, do those any of those programs or processes work for you? Are you using them?
Yeah, but in very early ways. But let's just talk about the future state. Right now, you can go to IKEA and you can download an app and you can look at their accent chair or a sofa, and you can put it in your room using essentially virtual reality, augmenting the virtual reality there with their chair. But you know what? That's not very exciting. It's certainly not very inspirational. You might be able to say, oh, well, that was pretty cool technology. But play this out a little bit. I believe, our team believes, and we are investing what resources we can to build what we need to do over time, because the future of the home furnishings industry is incredible, and it's going to be in the stores. It's not going to be all online. We've had the opportunity to work with Apple and with IBM on an important, our iPad point of sale system, we think is the best in the furniture industry. There's probably plenty of other people that think theirs is the best, but we're delighted with ours, and we wouldn't trade it. We work with Apple and IBM, our team. And so the times we've talked about and spent times brainstorming what the future is, here's the future. You're going to be able to take pictures of your room. You can do this now. A customer or a guest can take pictures of their room and send it to us, bring it in. We will be able to, we're not ready now, but we will be able to take that, translate it into a virtual reality, VR, and then take whatever furniture you're interested in, say it's a sectional, and put it in to scale to them, and then be able to do in relatively rapid fashion. Do you want to see it with the shades? Do you want to see it with the cuddler? Do you want to see the extra armless? Oh no, that's too big, take it out. Okay, you want to see the different covers that it comes in? Yes. And maybe say they settle on the beige sectional with the shades without the extra armless. Would you like to see Sherwin-Williams top 5 trending interior paint colors? Bam, 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 bam. Oh, I like that gray. Well, you want to see the next 5 gray? That's artificial intelligence. Just updating all the time of what the current trends are. Yeah, I like that lighter gray. Okay, we've got the sofa picked out. We've got the wallpaper. You want to see the top 5 coffee tables to go with your sectional. End tables, lamps, wall decor, pillows, area rug, color. What color choices and home accents? We can virtually create using artificial intelligence, not now, but it will happen before too long. I don't know whether it's a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, whatever, but we will finally be able to give the customer what she wants, which is an inspirational solution to her home furnishings needs. And the reason it's not going to happen on my, you're not going to do it on my cell phone. You're going to want to see it on a big screen TV with high definition and with a lot of horsepower to be able to change the colors and do everything that you need to do. And it'll be worth your while to go to a store and be able to touch and feel the materials and sit in it. So I think the future of bricks and mortar with the right digital support is going to be very good. Right now, we're in the early stages. The returns are, we have to make the investment to be able to get the returns later. But I see the possibilities for home furnishings using VR and AI as being nothing short of remarkable. When we sat around with IBM and Apple, they said, yeah, we see it the same way.
Wow. I want to ask you, this is something that's come through because a lot of the people on the webinar are, business owners, entrepreneurs like you. And so this crisis has been very much about concerns about staff. And so when we talk about this new customer experience, how have you managed, or are you managing, because I'm sure it's in process, to help the staff adapt to this new environment? Because clearly you got to have their buy-in to make it happen. So as this customer experience is changing, how are you helping the staff adapt to that?
Well, our team's kind of heard me say, let's not waste a good crisis. And credit to Winston Churchill, he had something like that in World War II, but I think it's a very good point. Let's not waste a good crisis here. We've got a good crisis here. There's a pivot in our industry. where we've gone to the front door being our source of revenue to being digital being our increasingly important source of revenue, or source of leads, which probably manage to turn into revenue. So I think this crisis is getting our sales team and our sales leader, we completely reorganized. Andy and my son Andrew and our Chief Revenue Officer, Andy Hill, have completely reorganized our leadership management structure, rewards, big time. And everybody is aligned now to this. And so the crisis has provided us the pivot point or the leverage to be able to say, hey, folks, here's the new reality. Anybody who is, if a sales associate was thinking, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make any phone calls. I don't want to handle phone calls. I don't want to talk about this computer stuff, or I don't want to handle digital leads or anything like that. Guess what? They don't have that point of view. They say, I get it. We're going to have to do this. People are going to be staying home more. I can't just wait on this. I got to develop my own business. And I think that opens up doors to us that are really remarkable. So some parts of the business are going to change a little. Delivery, we got to wear booties and gloves and masks and all that stuff. And we got to be super clean on hygiene. But other parts of the business got to change dramatically. And the sales associates change is critical. And this crisis, I think, gives us the leverage to be able to get everybody on board.
Well, it's interesting too, to use your phrase, let's not waste a good crisis. It seems to me that that's also fueling your thought about the importance of home, because the one thing about everybody sheltering in place is this is the time where subconsciously or consciously they've been taking inventory of what they're living on, what they're sitting on, what they're working on. And it seems to me that that I'm hearing you also say that is maybe from the sales standpoint, the biggest opportunity coming out of this.
Yeah, some of the investment bank research that I've seen has indicated that we could pick up as much as an extra 6 or 7% growth on top of what was planned in terms of furniture share of disposable expenditures. If we did 110 billion in furniture last year, the market would probably grow 3 or 4%, but there's another additional 6 or 7% that might happen on top of that. And that's an investment banker's guess. But I just think, honey, we're not going on a cruise. We're not going to see Aunt Hilda up in Minneapolis for summer vacation. The kids can't go to camp.
Yeah. Keith, you froze up a little bit there. Hopefully we're going to get you back. While we work to get his signal back, let me just remind you that we are listening to Keith Koenig. He is joining us from Florida. He is the president and founder of City Furniture. And we are talking about this new customer experience. Let me remind you that this webinar is being recorded and will be able to be viewed by anyone. We send out that link after the broadcast, and you can also find it at myhfa.org/COVID-19. I just want to hear my team just mention, are we trying to get Keith back? Maybe give me an idea. I'm sure we are working on that. And while we are, let me just highlight a few things that he has mentioned that we've gotten a lot of traction on based upon your comments. First and foremost, they are focusing heavily on 4 ways that people can shop on their website. Appointments, of course, set up in the store, live chat, shop online, but also shop by phone. And they have sales associates they've trained to manage those phone calls and to work with customers. And this was a question that came up a few times here. And I want to point out that, as Keith said, they have the same commission structure for those on the phone sales associates as they do in the store. So this is not one of those situations where it's scaled or it's different. They're viewing this as a true sale in every sense of the word. So that's an important little piece to take with you there if that is something that might work. Also, he talked a lot about the fact that you need to be able to track what's happening. You can have all of this traffic on your website. You can drive people to the store, but unless you really know which one of those particular elements is pushing them there, what is driving people from site to store. He said that is an incredibly key thing to be aware of. Also, he's talking about these takeaways, and he told us that while in the past, pre-COVID, as we're now saying, that getting people in the store, the door swings were one of the critical pieces, but we realized that people are not, in fact, coming into the stores, nor will they be allowed to as readily as they would normally or in the past. And so those setting of appointments, and he mentioned the fact that while the traffic will be down, the close rates are going to be much higher because the person coming in is more than just pre-qualified. They have really done a lot of pre-selling. Let's see here, some other highlights that I want to mention to you for those of you just joining us. And while I think there's so much attention on a lot of the amazing technology with virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, Keith says that's going to come a long way, and it's going to certainly be something that's going to be more and more critically important. But his feeling is if what you're finding as a customer is not inspirational, then you're still not going to be driven there regardless. Do we have any updates on Keith trying to get back in here? I will certainly continue to fill a little time here. Let me see. We will. Okay, it shows that we are trying to get him back and should have him back momentarily. A couple other things that I will just mention to you. This is critically important. Is that on the right side of the screen, you're going to see that we have a handout. That handout is the HFA benefit guide. We have, during this crisis, opened all of our many benefits up to members and non-members alike, these webinars being one of those. Would love for you to check out that handout and look at all the benefits of membership. It's critically important for you to see that there, and if you're interested, in the chat section, you'll also see a link to where you get more information about becoming a member of HFA, because it's not just webinars and education, it's also government advocacy, it's all kinds of financial programs that are advantage programs for members, where you can certainly help drive sales in your store. And there are many categories. Check out the benefits guide. If you have any questions, there is a link that you can notice in the chat section. And also, as always, myhfa.org, the place to go for more of that. Also, one other thing I want to mention while we're getting Keith back is that next week at this very same time, we're going to do even a deeper dive into this whole e-commerce discussion, because we've got some folks with some other success stories from small to large businesses as well. We're really looking to bring you as many of the best practices as we can in order to give you as much information that you need to be able to be successful. So let's see here. I'm looking for some updates really quickly to give you an idea where we are. As we try to get Keith back, I'm just going to continue to do a little bit of tap dancing here, because I'd love to be able to have him work with us for the last few minutes of this webinar today. But once again, also, if you're interested in their website, it is cityfurniture.com. It's a great place to go to get an idea about how a major retailer is tackling this environment currently. And they are in the process, as many are, of they have stores that are open. They have more stores that will be opening in the coming days as Florida continues to open in stages. So that's something that is important to talk about. And also, the thing we were talking about right when Keith left us is he sees this as an incredible time right now for this industry to jump on the fact that people are concentrating on home and focusing on that. And as a matter of fact, they he believes are going to help drive sales and help to bring things back, not necessarily where they were 2 months ago before we left off, but giving some momentum for the rest of the year. So what we're going to do here at the moment, oh, there he is. Look at that. I can put my top hat and my cane away. And Keith, it's good to have you back. Not yet.
All right. I'm so sorry. We lost something there.
Not a problem. I've been tap dancing. I had my hat and my cane and did a little soft shoe. Now let me ask you. Let me and we can just jump right back in here. One thing you mentioned before you left us. Talk about how delivery plays into this. We know that the Wayfarers and Amazons of the world have made next day and free and things like that part of the vocabulary. But how do you feel delivery fits in, especially as you mentioned some of the needs as far as health and safety protocols, but where does that fit in now for retailers of any size?
In 2015, when we got really serious about the web, we realized that we had to go after free shipping. Now, all of us who are used to getting paid for delivery, the idea of giving away delivery is revenue is painful. But this was a leap of faith. And I'll tell you, we found out that we picked up business and it was the right thing to do. We lost some revenue, but at the same point in time, our comps went up. And I just see it's the table stakes to do business if you're serious on the web. Doesn't have to be for everybody. For us, it felt like if we wanted to grow market share, we had to do that. So we now offer free shipping, which is the same terminology that Amazon and Wayfair use, free shipping. And we do the same service. We do not deluxe. We bring it to the front doorstep or the lobby of the apartment, not up to the second floor or higher. We explain this with the guest at the point of sale, and we offer premium delivery, which is all the service that we all are used to, which everybody typically wants. Not everybody does. Two things happened. We picked up business and we got rid of the objection that every one of us furniture retailers had, which is, hey, I'm spending a lot of money with you. You ought to give me a discount. You ought to give me free delivery. And then we'd always be on our heels going, well, it costs us a lot of money and it's expensive and we do all this service, etc. Now it's very simple. Just say, no problem. We have free shipping. Let me explain it to you. It's just like Amazon and Wayfair. We'll bring it to your front door. But you know, you got to unbox it, move it around your house, and you got to take care of all those packing materials. And there's assembly and all that kind of stuff. We do it. We've actually continued to raise our delivery fees, and our percentage of revenue going into delivery now is good and robust, but we have what the customer wants.
Yep, I get you. Let me ask you this too. Your website right now, you've got Memorial Day sales listed. I actually had a number of people asking. They said, "Gosh, with this crisis, should we back off? Should we be careful here?" It looks to me like you guys are full speed ahead and saying this is a time when we would normally be having a huge weekend of advertising for different sales and promotions. How do you feel about these promotions going forward in this environment?
We're pretty optimistic about the rest of the month and June. We feel like we can actually beat our plan from the beginning of the year. Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach closed down June 20th. Palm Beach opened up on Monday, and we're seeing nice increases there. Miami-Dade and Broward open up, which is Fort Lauderdale, open up on Monday. So we'll be open for Memorial Day weekend with full standard, things, masks, social distancing. I hope everybody saw my nice city furniture mask we had printed up.
Branded, I want to point out.
Branded. And we do the same thing for our Ashley home stores. So we felt pretty good about the world. Now I would share with everybody some folks who haven't maybe been able to open up. We found great success doing private appointments. And that got us through the second half of April through to where we are now, and it kept getting better and better. And we got better at booking them and people seeing that and avoiding any argument that we were not essential. We came with the point of view that a lot of things that we sell are very essential, but we were still shut down on a lot of stores for quite a while.
People also had some questions about, Keith, if you've seen in the stores you have been able to operate, if you've seen any increases in the usage of financing, or if the mix is still pretty much the same, or if you've seen any unique things there.
Yeah, our Ashley stores are using Ashley Cares, where there's 60-month free interest, and we send a gift card for 3 or 6 months worth of payments. A MasterCard with 3 or 6 months worth of payments. So that's getting some traction and hoping to get a lot more traction. Some of my peers around the country are doing a better job than we are, but that's cool. Our 60-month programs are, very robust, 12-month interest free, very robust. our percentage of financing is relatively consistent. Our percentage of financing this year versus last year on the web has gone up, and it's helped us grow our web business.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. You know, I just want to ask you as far as you know, and again, we're talking to a very broad audience here of retailers of all sizes. So this is your chance as we're working our way toward the end of our hour here to really kind of give them a thoughts and a roadmap as to how to really think about a long-term strategy here. I've heard many people concerned about a W you know, recession here, that it may be a double dip and you know, preparing just in case or something else. But what are the key things you would say to other business owners that when it comes to those long-term plans, or even just from, you know, 3 months, 6 months and on out? What should they be really mindful of, do you feel?
Well, I don't want anybody to get in front of their skis. We don't want to get in front of our skis. We furloughed a lot of people and we haven't brought them all back yet. But we're bringing back salespeople and we're planning it a step at a time. But right now, we have for 7 weeks in a row increased our sales forecast. And I bet we will do it again next Monday when we do it. So let's just look at what's happened. 14, 15, 16% of the population is unemployed. Record numbers. Hey, guess what? 85% of the people are employed. Even the ones that weren't employed or were employed get a $1,200 stimulus check. Most of them, unless they have a higher income. The ones that are unemployed are getting, in some cases, more than they were making anyway. The Wall Street Journal reported that 50% of the people would make more on unemployment than they would working. So there's money out there. But the real fundamental difference is whatever you were going to spend it on, home is going to go up higher as a priority, I think, than anything. Travel's going to be down, vacations going to be down, restaurants are going to be down, clothing is down, apparel is down big time. Kelly doesn't need a new dress if we're not going to a gala or we're not going to some charity event.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need any more clothes. I'm wearing jeans to work every day. And I think we gain share more than anybody. I think this is a time to be aware of that. And I don't think this is a time to put the foot on the brake. I think this is a time to put our foot on the pedal, on the gas pedal, because I really believe that we're going to have a lot more opportunity going forward. Now, will there be another, you know, problem? Will there be another resurgence? I don't know. I just know, don't, like Warren Buffett said, don't bet against America. And I think my friends in the restaurant business, they're in tough times, but this happens to be a time when home is going to become more important. So I like our chances. I will share that I'm concerned about supply chain. If this bounces back the right way, everybody's going to be scrambling for product. My friend Scott Thompson, CEO of Tempur Sealy, shared, hey, we can't ramp it up as quick as I think we're going to see the as quick as we're going to see the orders. There's going to be changes. Mattresses, how do we test rest a mattress? We're using a little big, you know, napkin. There's going to be all kinds of things that change, and some things are going to. Is home office going to sell more? You bet. I think there's going to be opportunities, and I think there's going to be challenges. But I think overall, the stimulus will help on a short-term basis. But I think overall, people are going to be spending more time at home. They're going to want to spend more money at home.
So, you know, it's interesting. One of the final things I want to ask you, you talked about how, you know, we talked about how you guys have used shop by phone, appointments, things like that. Are those things that are going to fade away, or do you think that those are also going to become part of the permanent landscape?
Yeah, I think I was reading one deck that in 1 week, or maybe it was just the month of April, some double-digit number, 11, 13% of the population bought groceries online for the first time. Wow, 11%. By the way, the grocery business is blowing up because the restaurant business is down. Grocery stores are, you haven't noticed, packed. People can't buy, they're not going out to dinner as much. They're getting some takeout. I think we have to deal. This is our chance to change our selling approach. The web, all things digital. Leads are going to come through here. We got to manage them because it's not going to be back to normal even when there's a vaccine. I think people will be used to being more comfortable about buying and shopping online for big ticket items first.
And the one thing I do want to mention that Keith said at the beginning of this broadcast is that while that is where they will all start, make sure that you have a mechanism to track it so that you know which one of these channels, where your leads are coming from, to be able to maximize those. I want to make sure that everybody understands that a recording of this webinar will be available at myhfa.org/COVID-19. Also, that in our handout section there, you've got the HFA benefits guide to give you an idea about all the things that we provide as an association for our members. It's something that Keith, you're a member. You've seen some value over the years, and we're just wanting to make sure that people understand that we're here with them and to support them.
I think HFA has done a better job than ever before. And Mark, I give you a lot of credit for that. You're a good voice in this. I mean, the webinar that Todd Wanick did, I bet a lot of people got a lot out of that. And he is a quick guy to share what's going on in the industry. He's a really good friend and partner. HFA is doing great stuff. I'll tell you what, Mark, you could do a great service to the industry that nobody else is doing. There's a lot of conversation about market, high point, what people want to do, what people will do, and what they might want to do. I think if you did a little bit of research around that, and shared that might be very helpful.
Okay, appreciate that very, very much. And you said earlier, and I'm gonna use your quote. You said, "Let's not waste a good crisis." Well, I can tell you that the team here at HFA has hunkered down and really said, this is the time when an association needs to facilitate, advocate, and lead. And the team has done that. So I appreciate those words, Keith. You know how it is when you hear good things that relate to your team, and it always feels good. Just want to mention again, Keith Koenig joining us. Keith, thank you so much for taking the time today. I know you're traveling. I know you've got stores to open up, but this has been very, very valuable. Once again, this is, of course, a recorded webinar, so you guys can jump on and grab that. But I want to mention next week, we're going to take even a little deeper dive into the whole e-commerce concept. We've got a few more success stories, and one of your good friends, Keith, Kenny Larson, will be joining us because they're doing an awful lot there as well.
He's a good guy, smart guy.
But we thank you very much. Everybody else, just know that HFA is here for you. We hope that you have good luck as you continue to open up and spool up. And like Keith said, there's a lot of great opportunities out there. I'm Mark Schumacher. Thanks so much.
We'll and if anybody is interested in a really cool vacation, if you're senior and you're looking for a really cool vacation place, come to the Villages and tell them I sent you, because it's Disneyland for adults. There's like 40 golf courses. They take happy hour seriously.
The things you can get from an HFA webinar, man, we hit all the aspects of it. Keith, thanks very much. We appreciate it.
All right, good day. See you.
Take care. You betcha.
Be well. God bless.